Howdy, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all doing okay. So, have a couple minutes just sitting, waiting on my wife to get off work. She's picking up a little bit of extra time, and I had to leave, so figured I'd just go ahead and tell you a couple interesting stories from the dealership. One of the more interesting ones that I had, this was when I was a service writer. Customer calls, or a tow truck company calls, I don't remember which. And we're getting this 99 to 03 f-150 towed into us. And customer rode in with the tow truck. And what's going on with this truck is it had been parked in a field for several years. Don't know how long. It was it had miles on it, but for the year it was kind of low mileage truck. It was rough. All the clear coat was gone off of it. It was dirty as all get out. Inside wasn't bad, but outside it was a rough looking truck. Hadn't rusted, but there was no clear on the truck. Kind of like my Mustang. And it was cranking, no start. Guy needed it fixed. And the part about it that was weird is that he needed it fixed within the week. And preferably like next couple days. And, when we're that heavy truck shop, you have commercial customers that come in with Super Duties, buckets and work beds and flatbeds and cargo beds and everything on them, commercial accounts where they're kind of accustomed to, hey, well, we got to get some money approved to tear into this and figure out what's going on with it. And then order parts, take a few days to get the parts in, take a few days to get you back on the rack, get you put back together, road test it, ship it out the door. Well, this guy wasn't having none of that. I need this truck in, by the end of the day or into business tomorrow. Okay. So, mechanic fiddles for a little bit, diagnosing, and he's got no fuel pressure. So, test the relay and wiring and all that. Relays check out okay. So, replace the fuel pump and the fuel filter. When he drops the tank out of it, he did ask for a little bit of, we wanted a little bit of money to completely empty the tank. We needed some money for gas to swish around in the tank and clean the tank out because the gas that was in it was disgusting. Okay, no problem. So we get approval for the fuel pump he went aftermarket. Aftermarket parts have a part warranty. So basically, if you buy a fuel pump from a third-party vendor that's reputable, they will pay to replace their part. They'll give you a new one. They will not give you the cost of labor. Explain that to the customer. Hey, you can replace the fuel pump on this. This has here's the cost for aftermarket, here's the cost for original equipment. Original equipment has a service part warranty, which is exactly what it sounds like. They pay everything. And we recommended to clean the fuel tank. He refused to do that. Get this truck up and running, road test it. He gets a few miles down the road, and the fuel pump's gone. It's just all the crap that he left sitting in this fuel tank has cooked the fuel pump. He's like, well, what are we going to do about this? I'm like, well, I told you that there was no warranty on the labor. We can definitely drop the fuel tank and replace his pump or do whatever you need done. But it's, I hate to say this, but the labor's on you, and we can, send them their fuel pump back, and they may or may not warranty it, but, the cost of dropping this tank is on you. And he was hot over this. So, thankfully, the truck shop was located at a separate location from where the main dealership was. Just a quarter mile down the road, but separate location, same business. Thankfully, the service manager was over there. He pulls the customer aside, hey, I'm the manager. Explain the situation to me, and he got my side of the story. And basically, we ended up eating half the cost. I think we ate the whole cost of pulling this fuel tank, and we ended up putting 2 mechanics on it. They split the time, and we dropped another fuel pump in because he refused to do anything else to do this fuel pump any favors. And so he put a new fuel pump in this truck and went on down the road again, and it went out again, and he's like, I realized that I should have cleaned the fuel tank. And I'm like, he called back up there wanting to get it in, and basically we're like, look, we're booked up. We already did you 2 favors. We got this thing in and out real quick for you. When it was sitting for years, we put another fuel pump in it, and it crapped out again, just like we said it would. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Here's where the story gets funny, in my opinion. This was 2-3 years later. I'm going to a different church, and one of the guys that goes to that church, I actually worked with at this dealership for a while. Turns out, this guy stayed being a mechanic and all that, and he just, by chance, lucked into stumbling upon this truck with a burnt-out fuel pump. Where it gets really funny is he said that when he got the truck, he dropped the tank to put a pump in it, seen what was wrong, went through, cleaned out the tank real good with some fresh gas, scrubbed, all the things that you can do to clean out a gas tank through an opening that's maybe a little bigger than that. Did everything he could to clean the fuel tank out, swashed gas around in it, got all the crap out of it that he could, put a new fuel pump in it, and he drove that truck for years. So I just thought it was kind of a funny story that this customer was fit to be tied with us, and if he would have just done exactly what we had said, the truck would have been fine, and there was proof in the pudding with the next owner of the vehicle. That's the car story I have for y'all today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.